If you're just joining us, we have been receiving reports that the Angus terror squirrel incident may have recently come to a dramatic conclusion, and we are waiting. In fact, I think we can go over now to a live, hastily pulled together press conference, which is going to be presented by the senior anti-squirrel operative on the ground, Norman Sutherland, and I think we can go over to Angus now. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, we're going over there now. Thank you, okay, yeah, thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Norman Sutherland. I was the senior operative overseeing operations against the grey squirrel that has been terrorising residents of an exclusive residential community in Auchterhouse, Scotland. I would like to read a short statement, then I will take a few questions. In response to an ongoing squirrel-related anti-terror incident that has been widely reported on social media, a technical team identified movement on a specially installed remote monitoring camera early this morning. This movement triggered the commencement of an operation that has been carefully planned over the last 7 days. This operation had the codename Grey Dawn. At exactly 05:14 Zulu, 06:14 local time, under direct control of an operational commander who had eyes on the squirrel at all times, highly trained operatives accessed the utility room simultaneously through multiple points of entry. This explosive entry was timed to coincide with the squirrel having been detected as entering a state-of-the-art detention device that had been deployed based on earlier covert reconnaissance. As our teams advanced into the utility room, the squirrel responded with a savage counter-attack, during which it managed to realise egress from the immediate containment area by exposing a previously unknown and concealed point of access. At this point, there was an exchange of gunfire with both automatic weapons and sidearms deployed and discharged by operatives who assessed themselves to be under direct threat and risk. Given the confined nature of the utility room, in combination with the proliferation of flat metal surfaces associated with white goods, fridge freezer, washing machine, tumbler dryer and the like, and the limitations of the ball-bearing ammunition in use, this exchange of fire resulted in a high number of ricochets. These ricochets incapacitated a number of our operatives, causing casualties and confusion. During this confusion, the squirrel was seen to exit the property through the now open rear door from the utility room. It was pursued by a small team and multiple shots were fired as it attempted to climb a tree to escape legal detention. Given the dense nature of the forested area in question, no carcass has as yet been recovered, and we do not anticipate that it will be. Although we are 100% confident that the squirrel has been eliminated and that its reign of terror is over. I am aware that the squirrel has taken on the status of a folk hero within elements of our society since this story first broke, but I would like to remind everyone of some of the more salient issues related to this incident. Firstly, the squirrel The squirrel illegally invaded this property, terrorised the residents and caused substantial damage throughout. In particular, the female householder will probably never recover from the trauma of last week's events. In particular, her finding the squirrel on the dining room table eating a potato. Her husband has also been traumatised by his inability to protect his wife and property. Both continue to receive professional support at this time and are likely to need this for some time into the future. Secondly, the squirrel is, in legal terms, defined as an invasive, non-native species. As such, it would have been completely illegal to have allowed it to escape or even be relocated back into the wild. This is clearly not something that was known or accepted by the squirrel's many followers on Facebook. Finally, as a result of these factors, this incident could never have ended well for the squirrel. I will now take some questions. The gentleman in the white shirt, if you wouldn't mind telling us who you are when you ask the question. Thank you.
Eric Bogle, Angus Bugle, you say there was an exchange of gunfire, Mr. Sutherland. Was the squirrel actually armed then?
I'm sorry, I am not prepared to comment any further on the issue of weapons at this time. The gentleman in the front row on the right with the Stetson hat. Yes, you sir, thank you.
Clint Froelich with the National Rifle Association. Sir, is it true that the squirrel was carrying Chinese or Soviet-made weapons?
I've already said that I'm not prepared to comment on the issue of weapons any further this time, sir. The chap in the middle in the filthy boiler suit?
Hector Sinclair, Halkirk Herald. Can you confirm the leak that we've heard from sources in government today that the SAS were involved in the operation?
Hector, you know that our official policy is never to comment on special operations, rather special forces operations. Never. The English-looking gentleman, yes, you sir, thank you.
Michael Stringer from the Home Counties Herald. There's been a suggestion in the English media that this squirrel was pursuing an independence agenda. Was this in fact an SNP squirrel?
I am of course aware of this unhelpful speculation, and I have to say that that is all that it is. This squirrel showed analytical skills. This squirrel demonstrated effective planning. It showed coordination and demonstrated real intelligence. There is nothing then to suggest that this squirrel was a member of the SNP or pursuing any kind of nationalist agenda. The gentleman next to you, thank you sir.
Will the Prime Minister be making a statement on today's event speech to Sutherland?
Well, that's clearly a matter for the Prime Minister's own office. If such a statement is forthcoming, however, I wouldn't expect it to contain any more useful information than we have already issued in today's written statement, which will be issued to you following today's press conference. All I would expect from such a statement as normal would be the usual incoherent ramblings, the wartime metaphors, the English nationalist jingoism and complete lies that would be delivered in the usual bumbling style that 85-year-old blue rinse Tory voters seem to love so much. The chap with the chap in the police uniform with the large nose at the back.
Chief Inspector Scott.
No, you sir. So the other chap with the large nose in the police uniform at the back. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Superintendent Ted Hastings, AC12. Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the wee donkey. I have never heard such complete and utter baseless rubbish in my entire life, fella. This represents corruption at the highest levels and it...
I'm sorry, Superintendent Hastings. Is there a question coming anytime soon here, or is this simply going to be a tirade of overused catchphrases that frankly are more suited to personalised greetings cards?
Less of the cheek, fella. Will there be an independent investigation?
Superintendent Hastings, as you well know, there is always an independent investigation after a firearms incident such as this, and I have no doubt that that will occur here in due course as well, as the matter has been referred to the Squirrel Complaints Commission. I would also like to go on record, however, as saying that I do not believe that AC12 should play any part in such an investigation, given the hugely disappointing ending to the last series of Line of Duty. It was universally panned by the public and critics alike.
It was rubbish.
And I have to say, I think there's probably a lot of support for my position in the room today.
A botched gunfight, no weapons found, no body, no investigation. Something stinks here, fella, and it's not squirrel shite, I'll tell you that. Something is rotten here. That squirrel escape was facilitated, and that had to be by somebody on the inside.
Unhelpful in the circumstances. That squirrel was shot, and he was shot while trying to escape from lawful, legal capture, and that is the end of it.
Aye, right, that furry little fella's up some feckin' tree somewhere, and he's laughing at all of us, and you know it. You know it. You had a role in this, Sutherland. You had a role in this. Yeah, you did. You did. Come back. Come back here. Well, very rowdy scenes at the end of that live press conference in Angus, with suggestions of cover-ups and even facilitated escape and the suggestion of operative corruption. Jane, we're going back to you in the studio. And we're off. What a prick that guy was.